I've been on a little bit of a mission recently to cut down on the amount of gear that I'm carrying with me on a daily basis when I go out to make a YouTube video, or even just to go out and do a little bit of photography for myself, because there has been way too many occasions when I'm just carrying too much gear and I don't end up using half of what I'm taking with me. I think we can all relate to that. We've all been in that situation. So recently I bought this. This is my new camera bag, and I thought I'd do a little bit of a what's in my camera bag kind of video and just talk about my minimalist setup for 2026 heading into the summer. This is the WANDRD Provoke 21 litre. I love this bag. I've been eyeing this bag up for maybe a year and I've just never really got around to buying it. It's not the original colour that I wanted. I wanted the orange one, but I couldn't get it where I bought it, so I just went for the purple one. I do quite like it, if I'm honest though. Made out of this really nice material that is very waterproof and resilient, and there is pockets absolutely everywhere. And I'm very surprised as well, with it being a 21 litre bag, just how much you can actually fit into it. It is much bigger than you'd expect. So yeah, looking at all the pockets, you've got a big zip pocket on the front, which takes up the whole of the front. We have a water bottle or tripod pouch on the side. On the back at the top, there is two zips here. One goes into the main compartment, and there is almost like a little bit of a passport pocket as well. On the side here, we have another little pocket, which has a little strap and carabiner clip thing, so you can attach your keys so that you don't lose your keys. Yeah, it's just really functional. If there's one thing that I don't like about this bag, it is that it has a side access instead of another water bottle pouch or tripod pouch on the side. I much prefer to have two of these that unzip and open instead of a side access pouch. I think that's much more valuable. But that being said, the best thing about this bag is that it has a roll top, so you can unclip this strap at the top just here, and then you can open this up and you can get much more in the top. I've managed to get coats, food, headphones, and if you were to carry a water bottle and you've got a tripod as well, you can sit your water bottle in there, and that just gives you so much room to carry extra things that I've never really had with a camera bag, because usually with a camera bag I can fit all my camera gear in it, but I can't carry a coat or food or headphones. Now you can, because that is a massive pouch in there. I'll get onto what's in there in a little bit. But I really like these little magnetic handles as well, big strap on them, so when you have got the roll top open you can still use the handles. There's also a strap on the bottom as well, and then another zip inside the back here where you would attach your suitcase if you want to use a pass-through, luggage pass-through. There is a zip inside there so you can store even more stuff that you don't want to go missing. Let's just get into the bag itself, because this is where most of the exciting stuff is, inside the bag. But I have really tried to cut down on the amount of stuff that I carry, as I've said. The camera of choice is the Lumix S1R2, and my lens that I carry on it pretty much 99% of the time is the 24-60 f2.8. I love this camera. This is my favorite camera I've ever used. I'm mainly a photographer first, which is why I go for the S1R2 over the S1 II, which I'm actually filming on right now. But the S1R2 for me is my absolute workhorse, because I use it for all my photography when I'm out doing landscapey sorts of bits. But then if I need to shoot video, this is just unquestionably one of the best cameras you can use for both photo and video, in my personal opinion, and I love it. I've not really got a bad word to say about it, if I'm honest. I know some people would prefer the S1 II over the S1R2 because it has a stacked sensor and things like that. For me personally, the S1R2 is my go-to camera. If you want to watch some videos about the Lumix S1R2 specifically and this lens, I will link a playlist up here where you can go and find some of those. Now, when I go out to do photography or make a YouTube video, I'm usually carrying two big cameras around with me, and it would usually be the S1R2 and the S1 II, but that can get quite heavy because it means two big cameras, two big lenses, and it is quite tricky when you're out filming on your own. So what I've done recently is I bought the DJI Pocket 3. Now I know I'm very late to the party with this, but this has absolutely changed everything when I'm out and about filming, because it is so small and so capable. It has been out for a couple of years, I know, and there is a lot of talk at the moment of a DJI Pocket 4 coming out. This for me has absolutely changed everything. I made a couple of videos about this already. It makes life so easy when I just want a nice small setup to go and just make a YouTube video about photography when I'm out and about. And I also carry in here the little tripod adapter bit which clips into the bottom. It's got a USB-C port on it, and I have attached a tripod plate onto it, so I can just keep that attached to my tripod and then click this on and off the tripod as and when I need it, and it just makes life so quick and easy. Inside the case itself I have two magnetic ND filters from K&F Concept. They're always in there, I never lose them, they're always there when I need them, if I need them. And yeah, I can't really speak highly enough about this camera if you are a solo creator. I do occasionally carry another camera with me. If, for example, I don't want to take this out because it is quite big and I just want to go out with the Pocket, sometimes I want to go out with a smaller camera for photography as well. And that is the Lumix GX80 recently with the Lumix 20mm f1.7. Now, I have made a couple of videos about this, but I think this camera is absolutely brilliant for photography. Everyday photography is perfect because it's so small. I almost wish Lumix would make a new one of these. I love it that much. It's a micro four thirds camera, so the 20mm lens on the front equates to 40mm full frame equivalent, which is pretty much what I shoot most of my photography around. I shoot pretty much between 35 and 50mm, pretty much exclusively, unless I need something specific. This sits right in the middle of that with this lens on it, and I think it's perfect for just everyday photography. I have it on this little strap that I got from Amazon, and again, it's just on these little clip-off things, so you can take it on and off the strap dead easily. Really want Lumix to make something like this that would almost compete against the X100V, maybe with a fixed lens on it. I think that would be absolutely amazing. Fixed lens, real-time look, and a viewfinder as well. That's one thing I really like about this, is it still has a viewfinder, because a lot of smaller cameras these days that seem to be getting rid of the viewfinder, but I love shooting with a viewfinder. So yeah, Lumix, if you're watching, please can we have a new one of these or something similar. Now, there is the odd occasion where maybe I'm going out specifically to film video and this would be my main video camera. I would also exchange the GX80 for another lens which will fit in that same compartment, and this is the Sigma 16-28 f2.8. This is a brilliant lens, very small, very light, perfect for if you're vlogging and things like that, just getting wide angle shots. And paired with the 24-60 from Lumix, it's absolutely brilliant. But most of the time, I would carry my GX80 instead of the lens. And that's nearly it in the main compartment. We just then have the DJI Mic Mini. I am actually using one of them right now to film this video. I love this because it just connects straight to the DJI Pocket. If I wanted to record to my camera, I can just attach the receiver on the top. And what's great is you can have, obviously there's two mics inside here. If you do have a DJI Pocket or a DJI Action, something like that, you can have one of these set up to automatically connect to your DJI camera, and then one of them automatically set up to record to the receiver that goes into your camera. So you don't need to worry about connecting to different cameras each time. So if you have two mics, have one for each camera, and it works perfectly. It works every single time. It's never let me down once, and they sound decent as well. What I like about this bag is that there is actually an iPad slot and a MacBook slot or laptop slot. So in here I carry a MacBook Pro 13-inch, and also in the iPad slot I would carry my iPad with the Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil, but I'm actually using my iPad right now to monitor the video that I'm recording so I can see myself. I do like that this bag has both a laptop and an iPad slot, because that isn't always the case in photography bags, camera bags. A lot of bags tend to just have one slot that you can put either an iPad or a laptop into. So the fact that this has both, and it is still quite a small bag, that is one of the things that really appeals to me, because sometimes I am just going to travel with my iPad. I really enjoy editing photos on my iPad, but sometimes if you need both, then it can be quite tricky carrying it all in one bag sometimes. But with this bag, it's absolutely perfect. And then in here, this is giving you access into what is the roll top. Now, I do have it rolled down, but it is still quite a big compartment. I can still fit a lot in here, whether it's food, a few accessories. So at the moment, I just have my ND filters from Nissi. This is the Swift system, so I think it's a few years older. I think they've got the Jet Mag system now. So this is a 1 to 5 stop variable ND filter. I have a step ring on it, so it fits onto my biggest lens because this is an 82mm thread. My biggest lens is 77mm, so I use a step ring. But also here in the case is a solid stop ND filter, which turns this 1 to 5 stop ND filter, if you press it onto the front, into a 6 to 9 stop variable ND filter. So that's really handy if you're filming on really, really sunny, bright days, which we don't get that many of here in the north of England, but it's very useful to have if you wanted to do some really long exposures, filming in bright sunlight, for example. ND filters are, I think, pretty much essential, especially if we're shooting video. I don't really use them that much for photography, but for video I use them all of the time. And then I also carry some spare batteries for my Lumix S1 R2. This is the Peter McKinnon battery pouch, but it is a few years old now, but I've not really found a better way of organizing my batteries on a daily basis, because what I like to do is if the battery is fully charged, I will point the battery so the contact points are facing up, but then if it's dead, I will flip it over. So I know which ones are full and which ones are dead really quickly, because when you're working quickly on the go, you don't want to be faffing around with batteries trying to remember which one is charged, which one isn't. This just makes it really easy because you can just at a glance see really quickly which ones are charged and which ones aren't. And then I also carry a magnetic battery for my iPhone. I've got a couple of spare ND filters that don't fit in my DJI Pocket 3 case. There is an ND 256 and a CPL filter in there. And this little thing is for the DJI Pocket as well. This is a really handy little accessory, and it basically, your Pocket 3 sits in here and it has a magnetic back. So it means that if you want to film out and about and you don't have a tripod with you, you could stick this to a fence or a lamppost or something and just get really unique angles, and you can tilt it down as well. Just get really unique angles with this one little thing that attaches to anything that is magnetic. That is pretty much it. If you open up the roll top, you can obviously fit much more in here. Put headphones, a jacket, food, like I mentioned earlier. There is a couple of zip pouches on the front of the back part of the bag here on the inside, but I don't really tend to use them, if I'm honest, because I've got a laptop and an iPad in there most of the time. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this little bag. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be too small at one point, but it is pretty much perfect for what I need it for. The only other thing that I've missed, is I have this on the shoulder strap, and this is my Peak Design capture clip. So on the bottom of all my cameras, I put these little plates which just clip straight into the Peak Design clip, and that just means you can have your camera accessible to you and be hands-free whenever you need to. So if you're on a hike and you don't want to be carrying your camera or taking it in and out of your bag all the time, you can just attach this to your strap, and then you've got both hands free to carry on walking, scramble around up a mountain, or who knows what you want to do. So obviously there is other stuff that I would take if I was working on a client shoot or something, for example, because then you might need more gear, lights and things like that, for example. But on a day-to-day basis, when I'm just out and about doing photography, making a YouTube video for myself, that covers everything. And I have cut down on carrying a lot of kit. Let me know what your minimalist kit is down below in the comments below. I'm always really interested to know what other people are using. What camera bags are you using? I'm a little bit of a geek with all that stuff. I like a good camera bag, and I think this might be my favorite one yet. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like what you see on the channel, and I shall see you very soon in the next video.